Hello, everybody, for another audio edition of Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz. It's all Westtown tonight as they go to 10-0 record with a 67-36 win after just a week ago taking down Bullis Bulldogs 78-61 tonight. No different, 67-36. Never had this gentleman here, first time on Voice of Reason, and he's a man who I've traveled down many AAU roads with from PSA, Brandon Randolph. Welcome, and it's great to see you again, and welcome to Westtown, I should say, because I remember having you when you were playing for PSA with Mohammed Bamba, who, what a great addition, not to mention Naja Hunter. So you have a lot in common with some of these players here at Westtown.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. That's why we're working well together. So.
Yeah, you had some great passing time. Really set the tone. 17 points, and most of which come in the second half. I have a great deal of respect for a lot of these kids. Jair Bolden, who I've had on many times. Cameron Reddish is another great player who I know all too well. And really, it's like when you put this team together, it's like anybody can be unstoppable. I actually mentioned this to some of the college coaches upstairs. I said to them, just kind of like the whole, let's go to an auction, pick an auction, and just one player, he gets to go to that school, because you've got about 6-7 Division I players on this team. What do you say about that?
I think it's great. That's why I think we should be ranked higher than what we are, and I know we'll go very far with this team.
One of your coaches that's standing on the right-hand side, a very close personal friend of mine, I had the privilege of working with, and that's Nad Yiljep, his twin, Lonji, also a very good friend of mine, and I also had the privilege of working with both Dakpe Yiljep and YY Yilret Yiljep. What is that like, having this young man as your assistant?
It's great. He tells me what to do. He knows Seth really well, so he gives me advice, and I just learned from him.
Seth Berger, your thoughts on him? What a great coach he has been ever since he joined the Westtown about close to 10 years now.
Yeah, he's amazing. I love him. My family loves him. He's done well.
Coming up next, Hamilton Jackson Christian Academy. You'll have the privilege of taking on a Duke commit. And who is that gentleman you'll be facing, if you know who that is? Nevertheless, though, 6 Division I players on the floor in the City of Palms Classic. Always one of the most well-respected classics in the country. Your thoughts on that? How are you going to keep this streak going?
We just got to work hard, rest our bodies until we get to that game. And then I think we'll do really well.
Brandon Randolph, congratulations. And if we could try to get Naja Hunter out for a few minutes. Let's talk with Naja. Brandon, good to see you. And good luck to you in the City of Palms. Naja Hunter, welcome to Voice of Reason. Good to see you. Yeah, I always enjoy seeing you.
Thank you.
You and your brother, Zaki Hunter, who's also a teammate on Weston Basketball. Talk about how you really were setting the tone here tonight.
Yeah, to start off, my energy, defense, playing hard, getting the team motivated, do the right thing. That's to come together and play hard.
It just seems like it's just getting better and better each game. Now, I had the privilege, I didn't get to see your game, the first game against Montclair, because I was doing my official podcast for the up-launch of the new high school and college sports show, Voice of Reason. I would imagine when I left to go down to, I believe it was the Penn Navy game, I believe you probably dismantled Montclair. How bad was that game?
It was pretty bad.
That's what I figured.
But right now, I think we're much better than we were when we played Montclair. Sure. We've been progressively getting better, and we're ready for the challenge in Florida.
Florida coming up, Hamilton Christian Academy, and I know you're going to be facing a Duke commit, but with the talent that you have surrounding, it seems like that could be a heavyweight type fight. They're coming in 10-2. You're coming in a perfect 10-0. Mohammed Bamba getting a look at from just about every school. You yourself have picked up quite a few offers. You want to talk about that?
It's a process. I'm looking for the right school for me, getting looks from different areas, whether it be Ivy League or high major schools. So, it's all good.
What's your thoughts on this young man, Kyrie Walker? Because I know you've had to face him at AAU basketball.
I don't know who he is.
You don't know who he is? Okay, all right. But you know some of the other players. You know who Mickey Bell is, right?
No, sir.
No, you don't.
No,
so
sir.
You didn't know who any of these Bullis players were. But let's talk about this Bullis team, because you did have to face them no more than a couple days ago in a 78-61 win. What was the difference between that game to this game? Just seemed like the end result was probably a win, right?
Yeah, the end result was a win. We played hard that game too as well. We were beating them by like 33. Towards the end, it got a little bit sloppy, but we still pulled it off.
Talk about your brother and what he could be to this school at Westtown, because Zaki is really starting to come on. I had the privilege of seeing him firsthand at the Hoop Group underarm, or I should say the Hoop Group Younger All-American Camp, and he really came on in a big way. How much better do you think he's getting?
Oh, he's getting a lot better. He just got an injury on his foot, but otherwise, before that, his energy was great. He's a great defender, and it translated to his offense.
I was hoping that would happen. I'm only kidding. Najah Hunter, good luck in City of Palms. Great to see you as always. Let's see if we can find, again, if he's around, Mickey Bell. Where's Mickey Bell? Mickey Bell not around. We'll take a quick break again. You're listening to the audio edition of Voice of Reason for the #1 high school and college sports show in the tri-state area. I'm Jake Schwartz. Hello, everybody, for an audio edition of Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz. We're coming to you once again from the Westtown School. It is December 18th, 2015. I forgot to mention the date while I was interviewing many of the Westtown players. We want to thank Najah Hunter and Brandon Randolph. It is my thrill to be joined by a man who I had the privilege this past summer of following him through all AAU basketball. He is on the Philly Pride. Mickey Bell, good to see you.
Nice to see you, the voice.
I know that with that attitude, I don't blame you for what's been going on with this team. I know, again, it's been tough. 4-3 is not what you've expected or not what you were hoping for. You have had the privilege of facing Westtown not once but twice, and what has been the end result? And why was the score like this tonight? I know Westtown's a good team, but do you just feel like tonight was just an off night?
We had an off night. We're down some key people, but I mean, we got to take it as a learning opportunity. We're not going to face people like this back when we're in a conference play, so just take it and use it.
Well, you're coming home this weekend to take on St. John's, and Jeff Doughton should be a name.
Different St. John's.
Oh, different St. John's. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's a terrible thing. Look, I'm about to trip Zaki Hunter, trying to maybe injure him again if I can. But let's talk about. I didn't realize that, but should be competitive type of matchup. I know that this is a team that doesn't get as much respect as the other Maryland type teams, the DeMathas, and when people talk about Maryland basketball, especially in Pennsylvania, they don't talk about Bullis like they should. But I think this Bullis team is very special, especially this young man, Kyrie Walker, number 11. What a talented player he has been for you. What has he meant to you?
Kyrie's a great teammate. He's a very good player. It's been nothing but great playing with him so far, so I look forward to the rest of the season.
Well, this coming from a guy who has played basketball with some of the best players ever to come out of Philadelphia on Philly Pride, from DeAndre Hunter. You've played with Stevie Jordan, LaPree McCray Pace. You've played with Charles Brown. What is that? Do you feel like this isn't any different from when you play AAU basketball?
I mean,
it's just AAU.
AAU basketball and school basketball are two whole different stories, but there are definitely a lot of similarities and there are a lot of differences. We have great players on that team. We have good players on this team. So.
How's your father, by the way? Was he here tonight?
No, he's back at home.
Would you please tell your father that the voice always sends his regards, because without the voice, you probably would not be standing here talking to because I'm the one really who has helped you get into the Division I circuit, right? That's close. It's close. Mickey, always a pleasure. Safe travels back home and a happy and healthy New Year and Christmas to you, my friend. That's my dear friend. I still love this man. I don't know where I'd be without my good buddy Mickey Bell. Mickey Bell joining us, and Westtown's Najah Hunter, as well as Brandon Randolph. That's going to do it again here in the beautiful Westtown School. From all of us again for an audio edition of Voice of Reason, serving the high school and college sports area in the tri-state area. I'm Jake Schwartz. We'll see you at the games. Don't forget Penn and Ursinus tomorrow. Good night.